Stop, stop, stop. Stop buying chicken pieces at the store. It's absolutely not worth it. In this 5-part series, what I want to do is take you through the steps of butchering your own chicken, packaging your own chicken, and then cooking your own chicken, all for a really, really budget-friendly cost. Cue stereotypical hip-hop beats. Now, I know we've all been there. Dinner needs to get ready, and you're in a rush, so you just go to the store and pick up a bunch of chicken pieces, only to find out that you need to put a down payment on your house. Do you really want to keep on giving your hard-earned dollar to Big Brother Superstore? No, you don't. There is a better way, and the better way is to cut the chicken yourself. In part 1, we're going to look at the chicken, and I'm going to give you 3 reasons why you should be butchering your own chicken in your home today. Then I'm going to show you some tips and tricks of how you want to package your food so that it's ready for the freezer and ready for you to go as soon as your family needs it. Or as soon as you need it, since you're single. I'm sorry. 2, we're going to be looking at the chicken breast. Now everyone has that one person in their family that cooks their chicken to death. I want to show you a foolproof way to make sure that your chicken is moist and juicy every single time. In part 3, we're going to look at chicken thighs, the forgotten cousin of the chicken breast, but so much better than chicken breast. Can I just say, chicken thigh people, if you're out there, comment down below, tell me that you love chicken thighs as well. In part 4, we're taking a look at the outer appendages of the chicken. That means the wings and the lower part of the leg. I'm going to show you a really great way to deal with those chicken wings and the bottom of that chicken leg. In part 5, what we're going to do is we're going to look at bones, and what are you going to do with those bones now that you have them? I'm going to tell you what you're going to do. You're not going to buy chicken bouillon ever again. You're going to make your own stock. It's easy. It really, really, really is. So, join us for this 5-part series. This is my chicken manifesto. Wait, let's be quick. The first reason why you should butcher your own chicken is because it is cost effective. Don't you want to save money? Don't you want to have enough money for little Susie's dollhouse? Butchering your own chicken helps you get there. Second reason is that it gives you variety. You have chicken legs,
you have chicken thighs, you have chicken bones, you have chicken breasts.
There's so many other things you can do that you can't just do with just one specific part of the chicken. Reason number 3, it's cool. If you're single out there, listen to my voice. You want to impress that special someone? Butcher them a chicken. That's how I got my wife. Without further ado, here's a couple suggestions I think would be great if you're going to butcher your own chicken. If you don't have them, not the biggest of deals. So before cutting up any chicken, I like to get the plastic bags that I'm going to need ready. I put the name, the date, and when they expire on each bag so I know when to use them by. I use a big cutting board that I use specifically for meat and put a wet paper towel underneath to make sure that nothing slips. Lastly, if you have a flexible knife like this, then it'll work great. If you don't, you can use a small chef's knife. So first things first is we want to either disconnect the wings or disconnect the breasts. And the way that I learned at the butcher shop, this is one of the easiest ways to get the highest yield. So what I did there is I just took those and kind of stripped them back just like that. And what you're going to do now is you're going to put your knife down and there's thigh bones here. You want to disconnect them from the back. So you should hear it something like that. So right here is the thigh bone that we just disconnected. We want to keep as close to that bone, peeling it back, and just detach it. There's a really kind of cool pocket of meat right here. You want to keep that intact as much as you can. Otherwise, it just goes. There we go. And so there's our first thigh. Then what we're going to do is I want to separate these two. So the way that I separate them is you can feel around, but typically where you see this line here, that line of fat right there. So you're going to cut, breaking those two pieces together, and you should be able to cut right between the two. And now I got my leg and my thigh. I'll teach you guys how to break those down. You want to repeat on the same side, on the other side. So taking like that, peeling back the meat as you're cutting, And again, you want to take that piece of meat off there and just keep it on. Next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to take off the wings. So we can take off the wings by, again, there is connective tissue there, and well, connective tissue. There's the cartilage right in between, and you want to just try to flip it over and get between that cartilage, just like that, and pull off the wing there. Same thing we're going to do on the other side. Cut down, feel around for where that bone is meeting, and where it bends, you just want to cut through right down that space. The way that we can break these apart is just cut them right down there. So this entire piece right here is the backbone, and we want to take that backbone out. So the way that we do it, just cut through here. This is probably the part that I have the most fun with. What you want to do is you want to grab and get a good grip of the knife like this. And what we're going to do is we're going to come around on either side. So the bones are really kind of brittle and soft up here. Right in the middle, it's the hardest because that's the spine. So what we're going to do is come over here, and it comes off really nicely. You're going to do the same on the other side. So putting it right there, and comes off like that. So this part here, this is your bone. Bone broth people, you want clean, kind of clearer stock, use breastbones. And they're normally really cheap at butcher stores because they're normally trying to give them away. So here you go. This one, we're going to take this out now. So we have, there's this little kind of, I don't know what that's called. It's like a little bone there. So what I need to do is I'm gonna cut here till I get to that bone. And I don't want to push too hard, otherwise it'll break. But then what you're going to do, I also enjoy this part, is break them apart like that. So that way you expose this kind of keel bone here. And use your thumb to come on either side. And use your thumb to go on either side of that keel bone, breaking them off. You can use the fingertip and just pull, pull, pull. And one of the things that's really annoying is if you break this skin here, so you kind of want to be a little bit gentle. Obviously, it comes with time. Then you just dig your finger in underneath and pull it out. You can pull this one out as well, just like that. And again, this method gives you the highest yield for chicken breasts. Just like in a turkey, we have a wishbone that comes this way and then goes back up. Right here, I can feel that there's like a harder spot, or like a broken spot. So that's where I'm going to start. So come on down and kind of carve around until you get to that keel bone. And now what I'm doing is I'm using the tip of the knife and just using the weight of the knife to really do all the work there. So I'm using the tip, using the weight, and I can get that keel bone, that wishbone off really nicely, just like that. And I'm going to do the same on the other side. Take that wishbone, and it comes off just like that. Again, look, there's barely any meat left on these things, and that's really what you want because, again, you're trying to save money. So last piece here is we're going to take these breastbones off. And the way that you do that is if you see here, there's this kind of indent. You want to come underneath and you want to just gently slice through that part there. So I'm going to use the tip of my knife and just gently pull that over there. And again, I'm trying to stick as close to the bone as possible. And using the weight of the knife, I'm just pushing it against, kind of on an angle like this. I'm pushing it against the bones to really get all that meat off and keep the meat on the breast and not on the bones. Then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut right there. And because my wishbone is already taken off, I can cut off there. And I'm just going to come down the other side of the breastbone, again, trying to leave as much meat on there as possible. And then as you can see, like most of the breast meat is still on the breast, which is awesome. And I've got minimal waste on that chicken breast. So I'm going to leave that right there. Going to do the same thing. And pulling those pieces of meat off, just like that. There you go. And again, minimal waste. You don't want to have all that chicken in a broth, right? Here's where I do a little bit of trimming. There's this little bit of kind of fat, depends on how healthy your chicken is, I guess. And this point you can choose to leave or take off the skin. I like to leave the skin on because then you have a choice. And on a chicken breast, there's this kind of hard piece right here, but if you just cut on either side of it, then you can avoid that really.
So I cut on either side there, one, just taking a small sliver of that off. And there we go.
So we got our 2 chicken breasts with a lot of the meat still on there. And again, my hands are now messy, chickeny. This is why we did all the bags beforehand. That way you can just plow through it. I don't like eating around the bone when I'm eating thighs. That's just a personal preference. You can totally leave it this way and it's happy days and you're fine. But for me, I take it out. So this is how to take it out real quick. Go down the middle of it, just like that. And then from there, there is the bone, and you just kind of whittle your way around.
So whittle your way around, just like that.
And then at this point, I just like to stick my knife through and pull it off like that. And then this one, just cut it off like that. And again, this goes into my bone bag. Now, if you did this yourself, for me, there's always like this cartilagey bit right here. You can just feel where it is, cut it off, and this can just go in the compost. There you have a boneless chicken breast, really easy. Great for barbecuing, great for making chicken sandwiches, all that kind of stuff. Look at all this food. So we have, I packed the breasts, so that's at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 meals. And if you make chicken stock out of this, you can stock up on the chicken stock. That's at least 2 meals there. So there we have it. Hopefully that was helpful to you and it showed you that this is not something that is beyond you. Yeah, you will have to get over the thought of touching raw chicken. So great way to save money, great way to have different parts of the chicken ready for use. If you found this video useful in any way, please hit the subscribe button. Until next time, we'll see you in the next one.